people who have let the problems of today lead them to conclude that for them life is not the way. But every problem has an answer, and if yours you cannot find, you should turn it over, it'll give you peace of mind. When you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. Many of us feel we walk alone without a friend, never communicating with the one who lives within, forgetting all about the one who never ever lets you down. You talk about it anytime, 'cause God's always around. When you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. Well, there's the only free psychiatrist that's known throughout the world for solving problems of men, women, little boys and girls. When you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. When you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. When your load's too much to bear, just go talk to God, she cares. When you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God.
Thank you, Becky Thatcher and Matt Corey. They've been making music together since 2005, and if you've been around Unity for a while, you may recognize them from Bellevue, Tacoma Unity, Seattle Unity, or from singing right here at Unity of South Sound. Well, welcome to the light and love that is Unity of South Sound. My name is Anita Landry, and it's my joy to welcome you here this morning. If you have any questions, concerns, or joys to share, you can contact our office during business hours, or you can go to our website at unityofsouthsound.org. At this time, we invite you to place your cell phones into the silence. And now we invite you to relax, reconnect, and center in the truth of who we are. Will you please join me in saying our opening affirmations? There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence. Our mission statement, inspired by the divine, as an inclusive spiritual community, we explore and express our highest potential. Our vision statement, present and centered in divine love, we co-create a peaceful and awakened world. And our core values, we are love, joy, abundance, spirit guided. Now Reverend Megan will lead us in an opening prayer.
I just want to bring your attention to the beautiful March flower display. Thank you, LaDonna. And as you notice, this is our green theme month because spring is on its way. Yay! So we're just going to keep that energy that's building within us. And do we have a little reverb on our mics today? No. No? You're working on it? Oh, the universal energy of life. So we breathe in and accept what is and know that we can't control it all. That is a perfect segue into our lesson today. So as we take a moment to breathe, we feel that energy and that love breathing us, reminding us that we are one with the divine mind of spirit, active in and through and as us in everything we think, say, and do. So just feel that, know it. Allow it to speak through you, to remind you of the beautiful light that you are, to remind you that every experience we have is a beautiful opportunity to know life in new ways. And so let us be open and receptive to that today. And stand firm in knowing I am one with the presence and the light that we call God. Know that in your mind. I am one with the presence and the light that we call God. And with a deep sense of appreciation for everything, we call it good and say amen. So it is. And let me light the light. Voila.
If you're able to stand and join with our song leader, Annie Lane Ryan, in our congregational songs.
In this world, I am a light. I am a light in this world. In this world, this is the time. This is the place. Let it shine. Let it shine. You are a light. You are a light in this world. In this world. Shine, let it shine. We are a light, we are a light in this world, in this world. We are a light, we are a light in this world, in this world. This is the time, this is the place. Let it shine, let it shine. Little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I am a light, I am a light in this world, in this world. Shine, let it shine. This is the time, this is the place. Let it shine, let it shine. Woo!
Beautiful. Now this is the time in our service when we get to greet each other with a namaste greeting. If you feel comfortable, you can give an elbow bump, or you can just place your hands together and say namaste. I behold the divinity you are.
myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. Thank you, thank you.
The inspirational reading for this morning is today's daily word. The word is dominion. I claim dominion and direct the course of my life. I claim dominion and direct the course of my life. While I may not be able to control what happens in my life, I am always free to determine how I will respond. Through my divine faculty of dominion, I know what to think. I decide what to think, what to say, and how to act. If a thought or fear of powerlessness arises, I remember all the wisdom, understanding, and strength of God are within me. Whether I'm organizing my day or moving forward after making a life-altering decision, the principle of dominion is always mine to claim. Knowing this, I move through life with quiet confidence. I am secure in myself, in the knowledge I am a divine being. I claim dominion and feel my life expand into the field of limitless possibility and potential. And from Scripture, Psalm 8:6. You have given them dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under their feet.
Prayer and meditation. I invite you to join me in the vibration of song, and this song is by Karen Drucker. Reminds us all the things we are, God is. God is life and I am life. God is life and I am life. God is light and I am light. God is joy and I am joy. God is joy and I am joy. God is love and I am love. God is love and I am love. God is love and I am love. God is peace and I am peace. God is peace and I am peace. God is beauty and I am beauty. God is beauty and I am beauty. God is power and I am power. God is power and I am power. God is beauty and God is good. God is good, yes, God is all these things I am. All these things God is. All these things I am. All these things God is. All these things I am. All these things God is. All these things I am. All these things God is. All is good. And so we breathe that in. As we close our outer eye to the world around us, and we allow ourselves to be one with the vibration of life. And going deeper as we prepare our hearts and our minds to receive, allowing yourself to be comfortable in your seat, let the vibration of the heart energy of this prayer bowl take you deeper. Breathe it in, feel it. Allow it to stir you and awaken you. With a deep breath, feel all of it. Take it in deeply. And as you exhale your breath, consciously, intentionally know, I now release all those things I no longer need, that no longer serve me, that are not the truth of who I am. And I breathe in all that God is and know it is all that I am. Feel where that energy touches you within. Notice it. What is it stirring? Know in your mind, I am light, I am life, I am joy, I am love, I am peace, I am beauty, I am power, and all this is good. As you take your breath and go a little deeper and deeper into that inner sanctuary within you, notice if you resist any of those things that you are. And in that resistance, can you just notice and affirm, I am that God is. And so I consciously and courageously release those things that are in resistance. I let go of my avoidance of embracing all that I am. I'm willing to let go of and transform addictive behaviors that prevent me from knowing and accepting who I am. And so in the silence of my being, I allow myself to notice what I resist and avoid, and allow myself to shift to yes, I am all that God is, and it's all good in the silence. All these things, God is, I am. I bring my awareness back into this moment and the realization of the truth of who I am, and I accept it. I accept all of it because I love myself enough to be who I came here to be. We bring our awareness again more fully back into this physical present moment, into the awareness of each other, in appreciation and acceptance and a deep sense of love, and call it good, and so it is. Amen.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feels like I'm walking on marbles. Can't still the earth beneath my feet. And is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling. I can feel my heart begin to pound. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Long dark night, my soul it wanders. Can't see the light that moves me. If God is everything and everywhere that I belong, Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, take me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, pull me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I surrender my life to you. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I give my life to you. Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. My faith keeps calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
Thank you. Wow. I just want to breathe that one in. Moved me. It reminds me of a little prayer that I always say before I'm about to do anything. It is not I, but the Christ within who does the work, who expresses through me, as me. And so I go deep within to listen to that calling, and it really lines in with the first practice, spiritual practice we talked about last week, radical self-awareness. To really be aware that we are aware in any moment of existence, and the freedom that allows us when discerning our next step in life through that awareness. So today, we take a look at how we might benefit from the practice of deep self-acceptance. The second core spiritual practice from the book that we're currently exploring leading up to Easter. This is Living Originally by Robert Brummett, a Unity minister, an insight meditation practitioner, and one of my most beloved professors when I was in seminary. I also wanted to bring your attention, because something I totally spaced out about, but Robert has recorded a guided meditation for every one of these practices. The link is in the book, but we will be sharing it in our e-blast this week, and along with the handouts for each week's practice, and all of those things will get uploaded onto our website. So you will have access to that, and I want to make sure that you're using that in your practices. This coming week, you will get the practice for next Sunday, which will be unlimited forgiveness. Bet you can't wait for that one. So a dear friend of mine, a minister friend, shared a story about when they were greeting people at the end of their service on a Sunday morning, and a mother of one of the children that had been attending regularly in the children's program said, "I want to tell you a story about my son. One day I was admonishing him for doing something wrong, and he said this, 'But Mom, I'm God's perfect child.'" What do you say to that? However, it's the perfect demonstration of what we call deep self-acceptance. I accept myself, including my flaws. So I wonder, when we make mistakes, and we all miss the mark occasionally, right, if we're honest with ourselves, do we respond the way the boy did to ourselves when we mess up, when we make mistakes? Do we stop and say, like the little boy did, "Well, I'm God's perfect child, so I just missed the mark. I'll do better next time. I learned something from this experience." Do we do that? Or do you hear that critical parent inside your head? Does it say negative things to you? If so, you are living in the human reality. Most of us do have a different, more critical way of responding to ourselves, is what we learn in life, and it gets embedded, like I talked about last week, those files that are embedded in our subconsciousness. And yet, if your best friend came to you with a confession of something they had done, that they had missed the mark somehow, would you most likely respond in a very loving and compassionate way? You would, wouldn't you? Why do we deserve any less than that? Can we not respond to ourselves in loving and compassionate ways? I think this has a lot to do with our self-image. and our image of an ideal self or something that we will cut ourselves just maybe a little slack and say, well, at least I was good enough, my good enough self. But we're more than good enough. We need to live beyond that. And a lot of that comes from past negative experiences, maybe as a child, perhaps later in life, we've picked up these false truths about ourselves. So do you have any of those messages talking out loud in your head? I know, we all do. So in the practice of deep self-acceptance, we begin the process of letting that old negativity go and begin in living from a different reality. Would you be willing to do that? Please say yes. Okay. keep saying yes. You know, this is actually building upon, deep self-acceptance is building upon radical self-awareness that we explored last week. They work together, but we start with one so that we're in the state of awareness, so then we can begin to understand and recognize what I might not be accepting as my truth. So think of it this way. Within your body, your being, there is a spark of divinity. The concept of God, which is vibrational divine energy that is within each of us, each being. No matter how you think we show up, it is inherently within all of us. And so when we criticize ourselves, we are also criticizing that which God made, that which is one with us. Is that what we want to be doing? So deep self-acceptance is a way of looking at all our experiences, all we see, all we hear, all we feel, without analysis, without judgment, without any negativity. Just observing the experience. And when we can, to practice just that, it's very helpful to just be observing, noticing, as in self-awareness practice, the beginning place. But then to notice with curiosity what shows up and ask, is that true? Is it? We all want to strive to be better people, right? I think we mostly do when we pay attention to our heart. And there's always room for improvement, but we don't have to beat ourselves up and inject all the negative stuff that we absorb or that is around us, or the stories we've heard and the messages that somehow filtered into our subconscious that routinely go through our minds. And I don't think I'm alone, am I? That I've been storing this stuff, the negative thoughts about myself especially, on occasion. Look at myself and the first thing is, ooh, that doesn't fit very well. You should do something about that. Oh, your hair is erect today. What the heck? Or do you go, wow, I'm showing up pretty magnificently. Do you do that? I think we should, without the ego being attached, just to notice the radiance that we are. So it's time to release and let that stuff go. We don't have to be stuck with a negative self-image that we might have picked up in childhood and added to with every decade of life. We can always let stuff go and move forward in a positive way. We can, but we need to do it consciously, to have a practice to support it, so that we don't just get caught up in the way of the world. In Scripture, Psalm 26:8, it says, Lord, I love the house in which you dwell, and the place where glories abide. Thinking of ourselves as a body temple where God resides. Do you do that? Don't you think we should love that place where God resides? Don't you think we should take care of it, honor it, bless it, accept it? All of those things? Consistently, regularly, intentionally? Because we have to do that first before we can do what Jesus said, which is, beloved, let us love one another. And all health professionals, psychologists, therapists, they all say, in order to love others, we must love ourselves first. How else would we know true love? Deep self-acceptance is about loving ourselves unconditionally and accepting all that we are, no matter what it is. So it starts with us. It begins with the individual learning to love ourselves, learning deep self-acceptance. Notice what stirs in you when you even consider that. It doesn't mean that we enjoy all of our experiences. Some of them are going to be painful and uncomfortable. But if we just let go of the negative self-talk and simply observe the experience for what it is, then perhaps we can step back far enough where we will learn something from it. And maybe just not repeat whatever it is that set that thought in motion. We get stuck in this repeating of our same habits over and over and wonder, why are we doing that? You know, it's that old adage, it's like, if you want to experience something different, have a different result, you have to do something different. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and get the same result and expect something different, that's crazy making. And we do it, don't we? Ugh. So we keep rethinking things. We keep rethinking it as if we can change the outcome with the same thought process. Something has already happened. We can't go backwards. We can't undo it. It's not like we have a delete key for life. We don't have a delete key, darn. Wish there was, like a redo, right? So when we do something, it's out there forever and ever. As much as we may prefer it not to be out into the reality. So let's take a moment to breathe. Just take a breath and know we have a way through this. Thank you. So it's time to accept it, whatever it is, and move forward with new thinking. That's transformation. Now, our self-image can be improved, and we benefit by beginning the practice of deep self-acceptance process, and again, just by observing our experiences without emotional attachment. That's challenging, to disengage the emotions, to just notice it. Like you're watching a movie that you're not a part of. And again, it's by observing our experiences without emotional attachment, not reliving them or retelling them or rethinking it over and over and over again, but just observing it. And then just the very act of observing the experience kind of separates us from it a little bit. We get new perspective, and it takes the sting out of it sometimes. Helps us detach emotionally. And that's the key, really. To detach emotionally, to just notice what we have been believing about ourselves and living from that place. Until we notice it, we can't transform it or change it. So again, we also can learn from it. Because you see, you are the only person who has total control over your response. That's a hard responsibility to accept. You have total responsibility over your response, your feelings, and your emotions. No one can make you feel anything you don't want to. That's the truth. And yet we take it on and somehow think it is. So you have the power to respond in an intentional way, and whatever way you respond, that's within your power. You are magnificently powerful beings. No one can make you respond to anything you don't want to unless you allow it. So you have the power. Don't give your power away. How we do that? And not always consciously. But there's no need to. But power without responsibility can be destructive. So as you have the power of your own relationship to yourself, be gentle. That's what being loving is. To love yourself through the experience, to love yourself through noticing the painful and difficult things and those false messages you have considered the truth about you. Imagine that you're talking to your best friend. Be compassionate and loving toward yourself and let all the negativity go. Let it go, release it consciously. For there is no need for it. It doesn't help us to hold on to that. It keeps us in the old image that we don't necessarily fit anymore. Maybe there was a reason to hold on to something initially, but it doesn't serve us now. So we need to let it go. You can just say, I honor you, and now no longer need your energy within me. So bye-bye. I no longer need your energy within me. So you can lovingly let it go. It doesn't have to be harsh. I love the way Ken Wilber talks about that. He's an author, practicing Buddhist, futurist, and he writes a lot about transformation and enlightenment, and Robert mentioned this about what he said in his book. He says, the moment I see and accept my experience of resistance, I've taken a giant step toward dissolving it. Using the term unity consciousness to describe superconscious awareness, we talked about that last week, it's that the divine mind within us. Ken Wilber explains it this way. Until you see precisely how you resist unity consciousness, divine mind, all your efforts to achieve it will be in vain, because what we are trying to achieve is also what we are unconsciously resisting and trying to prevent. And that understanding itself might allow a glimpse of unity consciousness, for that which sees resistance is itself free of resistance. So we can say with deep acceptance, I see the I that is aware of resistance and itself then is free of that resistance. So what he's talking about is our ego, that human part of ourself that keeps us trapped in resistance because we might be afraid of what the truth is, or maybe it's too hard to do something different, or something so ingrained in my thinking that I can't even imagine it being different. So when we feel that we're resisting something, then it's the clue that it's our ego running the show. I call it run amok. And we just become aware of it. Just notice it then, because that's the moment that I can transform it. The very fact that we become aware we are resisting something is the moment that we can release it from having power over us. That's the process of denial and affirmation we teach in Unity. And the resistance then just melts away. So let this be your affirmation. Acceptance melts resistance. Acceptance melts resistance. Plant that in your head. And then we can move forward. We are not stuck in that old negativity and negative image anymore. Our present experience, our present understanding of who we are then becomes less contaminated by who we thought we were, and by our previous experiences, the negative ones. They gradually become less effective. And then we're free to be lighter, to be the self we know we can be, to be the self that which we call God that created us to be. Lighter, more loving, more accepting of ourselves and others, more at peace. Just becoming aware helps that resistance. The negative images, the things that hold us back, that are not who we are authentically. Because living originally is about living our authentic self intentionally, because we have the power to do that. So just becoming aware of it helps us to go, let it just kind of go away, become more hidden from our focus. so it doesn't become our go-to thought. There's a story that Robert Brummett shared in his book, Living Originally, that he tells about a story of a 15-year-old girl named Rachel Naomi Raymond. She was a young woman diagnosed with Crohn's disease, a chronic inflammatory bowel disease for which there is no known cure, but can go into remission with treatment. She reacted to the illness and the resultant suffering and limitation with deep, deep resentment. She needed to consult with her disease in the simplest of matters, saying, would it let me eat this piece of cheese? Would it let me walk up this flight of stairs? And she hated her body and she hated her life. Put yourself in her mindset. How would you react to this lifelong prognosis? As a young adult, she was walking the beach one day as she found herself comparing her life with that of her friends and her colleagues in a similar age, who seemed to have perfect health and boundless vitality. And her seething resentment erupted into explosive rage. She allowed herself, though, to feel this rage fully for the first time. And as she screamed and felt the rage pulsing through her body, she had a profound insight. The rage was her will to live. The rage was her love for life expressing itself. She saw that at the core of her being, she had an intense love of life. It touched something deep within herself and realized she hadn't been loving herself. Experiencing a deep acceptance of the rage, which had been simmering within her for years, she found the rage transformed into vitality and a new love for life itself. For the first time in her adult life, she was no longer a victim to her disease. She found a new life and a new purpose for living. She found a way to unconditionally love herself through new eyes. Rachel went on to become a medical doctor and an author who transformed the lives of many people. I can relate to her rage. When I had to confront my pain after my son's murder, I was filled with rage. It was a tremendous relief when I finally let it out, and a transformative moment in realizing the gift of acceptance of something I could not change or control. Because until I can get to acceptance, there wasn't any way to move forward. It caused me to shift my thoughts to the gifts of presence in life, a new perspective of why I'm here, why am I alive, and the depth of gratitude of the treasured memories that were stored within me that no one could take from me. I still had those, and I always will. And one day at a time, I found through acceptance I could breathe again. Breathe is a lifeline. To breathe animates us with that divine identity, that ceaseless, restless energy of life we call God. And eventually I found reasons for living more intentionally with meaning and purpose. And it became a way that because I love myself and because of the love that I hold for my son, that's how I honor him, by how I live now. Can I accept everything more courageously than I ever did before? And I discovered the gift of self-love that nurtured me forward, that reminded me of the value of living, the value of life. And eventually, I led to write my own book, Unraveling Grief. And for me, it was a journey of acceptance, forgiveness, and gratitude. So let's choose self-acceptance and unconditional love. And imagine if Rachel could transform herself from an incurable disease. What can you and I do as individuals with that stuff that we've been resisting? What can we do as spiritual communities in coming together in self-acceptance, in unconditional love for each other, of accepting all that we are and all of our differences? Let's choose to explore that idea more as we move forward, holding the vision to demonstrate as positive, thriving individuals and as a spiritual community doing amazing things. We must accept what is and let go of resistance of anything that's holding us back. So moving forward, let your practice be being both aware of what you experience from within and around you, and deep self-acceptance of everything that happens, of where you experience resistance, avoidance, addictive behavior. Just notice and use that insight to empower you to make wise decisions, responding to life rather than reacting to it. Let love be the way rather than resistance. Remember, acceptance melts resistance. That will be the door, and it allows the freedom to live originally as our true and authentic self, awake in each moment, that gift that life truly offers us. Remember, with deep self-acceptance, we gain the confidence to live in the world with greater ease and a sense of well-being. This practice is what we call forth from the Serenity Prayer, which I offer in closing today. Feel its affirmative intention. Many of you know this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, and to love my authentic self, in the awareness of each moment. And so it is. Actually.
We want to thank all of you who may be joining us for the first time here or online. Thank you for sharing your consciousness with us and your love with us. Also, we have a welcome packet for you on the back table of the sanctuary if you're here with us in person. And if it's your second time with us, welcome back. And if you've been with us for a long time now, welcome home. So to all our friends, we want to share our unity blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. At this time, we'd like to prepare for our love offering. This is the time in our service when we get a chance to share of our financial blessings with this community. There are several easy ways to do so. You can give through our Facebook page or our website by clicking on the donation button. It's easy and secure. You can call our office, you can mail it to us, and if you're here in person, we have new offering envelopes on the back of the pews, and you can then leave your gift in the offering plate on the back table of the sanctuary. Whichever way we make our tithes, we hold them physically in our hands or spiritually in our hearts in this moment and affirm together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving, and we are truly blessed. Amen.
I will trust in the Spirit. I will open my heart. I will always remember the truth of God. has brought me this far. So lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. Lead me on this path of light. I shine a light in the darkness. I will bring forth the truth. I will always honor the beauty and light that I see in you. So lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. Lead me on this path of light. As I breathe, I become completely one with the light and the love. Completely one. As I breathe, I become completely one with the light and the love. Completely one. So lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. All I know is love. All I know is love. All I know is love and grace. Grace.
Thank you again, Becky Thatcher and Matt Corey. That was beautiful. And thank you to our Unity Band. We have a very special person that we would like to acknowledge this morning. So I want to call Reverend Megan back up.
A couple of weeks ago, we had the honor of installing our new leadership team, our board of trustees, for the next fiscal year. We also had the honor of honoring and acknowledging a couple of our board members that were stepping down in their role in service. However, one of them was not physically able to be present. So, Wendy Valentine, would you please come forward? We want to acknowledge her. We'll just stay down here. This is from the people that love you so much that have been in service with you, and a little special memento and a rose that represents the symbolic unfolding of your spiritual bloom that we know will continue to unfold. But we're really grateful for Wendy's service on our leadership team. She made a difference. And we just know that it's important when somebody transitions from one role to another. She's still a part of our community. She still blesses our YOU and inspires our kids. But we just wanted to see you in person and acknowledge you and love you. So would you all join with me in acknowledging Wendy? Wendy, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. Thank you for your service. Bless you.
We have a few announcements to highlight for you this morning, and we'd like you to know that you can keep up to date with all of our Sunday services and events by subscribing to our weekly e-newsletter. Go to our homepage and click on the newsletter sign up button at the top. Then fill out your contact info and submit. Your info will be safe on our secure site and will never be shared. Today is Chaplain Sunday, and we have prayer chaplain Gary Tranum to pray with you this morning. Hi, Gary. If you have a prayer on your heart, please visit the vestibule to the side here. And if the door is closed, please wait outside, and Gary will open it when there's space for you inside. Please wear a mask inside the vestibule, and masks will be provided if you need one. Next Sunday, we will continue our Sunday service based on the book Living Originally by Robert Brummett. We want you to know that you can download the weekly handouts from our eBlast each Thursday, and that way you can preview it before the Sunday service. And we also have printed copies on the back table of the sanctuary. So thank you for joining us for this six-week service series of practices as we prepare for Easter's awakening. And now let's welcome in our children.
All right. So today in our classrooms, we talked about self-acceptance and being authentic. And also, Wendy, you want to talk about what you guys did too?
We really worked on response versus reaction and some scenarios. And I have all boys now, and responding versus hitting them was like the reaction. And this is new because I used to have mostly girls, and the reaction would be tears if their feelings were hurt or something. And so it's just fun having this experience with the boys. And it's so different, but wonderful at the same time. And yes, I love them all.
All right. I think, and Gideon has a self-portrait. Did you want to share it? No. Okay. All right, that's all.
Okay, let's bless our beautiful children and teachers. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. And now I invite you to stand if you're able and join Annie in singing our peace song.
Let
protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I is, I am. And all is well. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Sunday, same time, same place.